right. So anyone else feel like they're like drowning in PS5 Pro takes online right now?
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
It's inescapable.
Is it necessary? Is $700 too much?
Mm.
Like my thumbs are cramping just scrolling through all the opinions.
Right.
But here's the thing about all that online chatter. Sometimes it doesn't exactly match up with what people are actually doing.
Right.
And when we look at the cold hard sales numbers, different story.
Yeah.
Completely different. Get this, PS5 Pro already topping the charts on Amazon.
Wow.
#1 best-selling console, like blowing past everything else in the PlayStation family. I mean, what do you make of that? What do you think? Why are people like so quick to click buy with all this debate swirling around?
Well, I think what's really interesting here is this actually isn't that unusual when it comes to new tech, especially in the gaming world. You've got this segment of consumers called early adopters. And these are the folks who they live for that like new car smell when it comes to tech, right? They want to be the first ones to rip open the box, dive into the latest and greatest.
Okay, so for those of us who we enjoy video games, maybe we don't speak fluent gamer, what does early adopter really mean in real world terms?
Okay, yeah. Think of it this way. Imagine the people back in the day who camped out for the original iPhone release. Or you remember when building your own gaming PC was like this new thing?
Right, yeah.
These early adopters, they were the ones right there on the front lines, piecing those things together, figuring it out as they went along. It's this drive to not just own the newest tech, but to really push the boundaries, see what it can do.
So, while everyone's busy on Twitter arguing about the price tag, it sounds like a lot of these early adopters, they've already made up their minds about what the PS5 Pro is offering. And they're all in, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And speaking of which, I keep seeing this PS5 Pro enhanced tag everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
What's the deal with that? How does it actually change how games, how they look, how they play?
Okay, so that's where things get really, really cool. We're not just talking about a few seconds shaved off your load times. We're talking a whole different level of visual fidelity, of performance. Imagine swinging through the city in Spider-Man, but this time every single skyscraper has these crazy realistic reflections because of ray tracing.
Wow.
Or think about Elden Ring, the notoriously difficult game. But now imagine experiencing those intense boss battles with this silky smooth 60 pp's gameplay, for the first time ever.
Okay, yeah, now I'm starting to see why people are lining up to drop, a month's rent on this thing.
Yeah.
It's like experiencing these games in a whole other dimension.
Exactly. And here's the thing, their willingness to invest in this bleeding edge tech, it actually ends up benefiting everyone down the line because it pushes the developers, right? It forces them to innovate, to figure out how to squeeze every last drop of performance out of this new hardware. And then eventually, those must-have features, they become more affordable, more accessible for everybody else.
So it sounds like this whole PS5 Pro launch, it's kind of like a crash course in this disconnect we see sometimes between the online world, all the opinions and the hot takes, and then actual market trends.
Yeah. Yeah.
People can debate about the value of these upgrades all day long, but there's no denying that a lot of people are voting with their wallets because they want that next level, that premium gaming experience, right?
Absolutely. And that actually brings up a really interesting question for all of you listening out there. Where do you stand on this kind of constant evolution of technology? Are you someone who's gotta have the latest gadget the second it drops? Or are you more, I'll wait till it's on sale?
Right.
There's no right or wrong answer here, but it's a really interesting thing to think about as tech keeps moving at this, lightning speed.
Yeah, definitely something to ponder.
Yeah.
That's all the time we have for today, folks. Thanks for tuning in to Press X for news. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform. And as always,